Alright, so this video is going to walk you through making the drawing file for the angle block. So it's going to look kind of like this with our three views and our shaded isometric with all of our dimensions and a hole call out for that counterbore hole that's in there. So starting out, the first thing that's important is if your part is not oriented like this, okay, with the front view looking like this, okay, you're not going to get the right view. So if you look at this, the front view is staring straight on, looking at that hole. The top kind of has that eye, and then the right view is kind of like that. So if your view does not look like this, we need to fix that, because when you create the drawing sheet, it will not be positioned correctly. So what you need to do is go ahead and find whatever view gives you this look at your object. So you should be looking straight at it with that counterbore hole right there. Now what we can do is create an alternate. So you might have this as your back or top or right side view, whatever. But we can actually create a named view that we can use. So if you click on this little drop down, this is something useful whether you have this in the front or not. But we can go to named views, and I'm going to call this actual front. And we'll hit plus. And what that did is it created an alternate view that we can use when creating our drawing sheet. So if you accidentally drew this another way, so if this view was, like I said, a different one, we can create another view that we can use as a substitute front. Alright, so now it's actually time to start creating our drawing sheet. So to do that, we're just going to right click on our part and create drawing of part 1. So we're going to go ahead and keep the borders and everything on there. I'll talk about it in a second, but we want the 4 view. Right? The 4 view is going to give us our 3 view orthographic plus our isometric. We'll hit OK. And what it's going to do is automatically create our multi-view and our isometric for us. Okay, so we also have our title block around there, our borders. Okay, this is something that if you were handing this off to a machinist, right, they could check it, approve it, and talk about what kind of material or finish it had. So this would be information that you would use when giving it to machinists, so they know what they're doing. So the first thing we're going to do here is make this a little bit larger, because this is a little small. So I'm going to increase the scale a little bit. So if we just double click on this bottom left one, right up here is our scale, and I'm going to try 1 to 1. Let's see how that is. That is too big. So let's say 1 to 1.5. Let's see how that looks. Yeah, that's a little bit better. So changing the scale just kind of resizes things. Now we can change the view, so if your views don't look correct, okay, if we click on the view orientation, right, we could click on our actual front, and it should line them up so they look like this. So that's one of the nice things about being able to do a custom view, a named view. We can change it so we can reset our front in case we accidentally draw on the wrong plane. Right, we can change that view so we don't have to draw everything all over again. Right, so you should have, that's your front, that's your top, that's your right, and then the isometric. Okay, so I'll go ahead and green check that. And I'm going to delete this scale text from everything except for the isometric, right, because I don't really need that 4 times, that's repetitive. So what we're going to do now is go ahead and make sure we got all of the hidden lines and shaded views and everything shown that we need. So let's go ahead and right click on our isometric, and we're going to show shaded view, right, because I want that to be the shaded view that we can see. And on these other 3, let's go ahead and show our hidden lines. So I'm just going to right click, show hidden lines, show hidden lines, and show hidden lines. There we go. So we got our hidden lines so we can kind of see through all those parts there. All right, next thing we're going to do is our center marks. Now it was already nice and gave us our center marks on these little crosshair pieces, but we're going to add some center marks to the other bits. Now one of the things I don't like about here is it has these tangent edges, these lines, so I'm going to get rid of those. So I'm going to right click, go to tangent edges, and we'll hide those. All right, because that's kind of confusing to have those straight lines because they would not actually be seen. So tangent edges hidden. And this one doesn't really have any tangent edges. A tangent edge means, right, that that's a tangent from that circle to that line, so it gives you a little line there. You wouldn't actually see that. Okay, we'll go ahead and leave it on there just so we know what it is, but I took them off here. So what we're going to do now is create our center lines for our other bits. And our center line is up here. And what we're going to use is the edge-to-edge center line. So you have to click on a little drop down, go to edge-to-edge. And if I just click on the left side of our hidden line, that's going to give us our center line. And we got one there. Okay, so we're not going to see both of these because they're right on top of each other. Same thing over there. Get a center line over here. You just have to click on the left side. That'll give you your center line. Then I'll get a center line to, oops, right click, center line to this guy. Oh, undo. Oh, let's delete that. That was a bad click. So if you ever do that, we could just delete it. Back to our edge-to-edge center lines. Let's try that again. There we go. And there's our center line through that guy. So we're looking pretty good so far. So we have our center lines, we have our hidden lines, and now we just need our dimensions. So the dimensions and the whole callout actually. So let's put in the whole callout first. Whole callout's going to be in our dimensions group, very bottom there, and I'm just going to use this view right there. So we'll just plop that out. So let's just add our dimensions now, which are here. And remember, when we're doing dimensions, we want to add all the dimensions that would be necessary to create this without being redundant. And we also like to keep our dimensions more towards the middle, and we like to avoid overlapping lines, things like that. So I'm actually going to move this down a little bit and out just to make a little bit more room in the middle. And you can see that if I move that front view, it's going to resize the others as well. So let's just start adding some dimensions. And put in those big circles. I'm going to go from these centers here, so I want to know that is in the center. Now, it is okay to put dimensions nested inside of others. Okay, that would be better. We don't like to have crossing edges like that. That we don't like to do. So it's okay to nest them inside each other. We just want to make sure they stay kind of organized. So we got that. I'm going to get this one, and these center points. I want this overall length of the whole thing, because that's 4. I want the overall width. And if we see that, I got these crossing lines. I don't like that, so I'm going to move this so it fits inside there. Maybe move this up a little bit just so it fits a little bit better. Okay. And I want, let's get this. That's 0.5. I also want this angle right there. So to do an angle dimension, you can click on one line and the other, and that gives us the angle. So we know that's 135, so we know that's 45 going the other way. That's the supplementary angle. All right, let's see what else can we get. So I got 2 inches there, 3 inches there. So I am going to, let's say we need to get here. I missed my center line there. Let's get a center line on this guy. There we go. So I want to know what's the distance from this to that center line. And that's going to be 0.875 right there. So that can tell me what that distance is. All right. So what else should we get there? That 1. Right. I think we're looking pretty good. 45. I'm gonna. So we need that 1 inch. So instead of doing this 1 inch right there, what I'm gonna do is just get. Get that. Okay, so let's get this to there. That's going to show me 1 inch. I really don't want that to cross over. Alright, so I don't like that crossing line, so what I'm going to do is delete this. And instead, I'm going to add that over here, because again, having overlapping lines is bad. So I'm just going to put that there and nest it so that looks a little bit cleaner. That has that, which is good. So that has 1 inch total of that. Let's see what else we got. I want to have one here to that center line. Should probably got that over there. Alright, so I think we're pretty good here. So I'm sure if you were a machinist, you'd probably want to get a few extra here, but this is just kind of getting started with this, so I'm going to say that's good. So that is the drill block drawing sheet. There you go. Thanks for watching.